In this video I'm going to show you what software I use to do my video editing, and I'm going to show you a basic idea of how to use it. I'm not going to go into fine detail on some of the technical stuff. I'm just going to give you the basics of how to get it working, how you can do some video editing, how you can sync up your audio to your video. That is what I'm going to do, and how I use it. I'm not going to show you everything. Like I said, I don't know how to use the nose still. I don't tend to mess about the nose because I thought, well, I don't really understand that bit. But I know how to do the video editing, I know how to do audio. I know enough to make a reasonable video. Hopefully you like my videos, otherwise I wouldn't have no one watching, would I? So this is just going to be a basic tutorial, and I will stick timelines in the video description for any part that you might want to jump to, just to make it easier, because I've got a feeling this video is going to be quite long. Also bear in mind, I am not a professional video editor. I am just a YouTuber, the same as a lot of other YouTubers. I've learned all my stuff by watching YouTube videos, and I wish to thank all the YouTubers that make these sort of videos. Yeah, thank you very much for that. So this is what I'm doing right now. So with that, I'm going to show you what software I use and how I use it. So don't go away. So I use a program called DaVinci Resolve, this little baby here. Also, I'm going to show you a little bug, hopefully. I will show you a little bug. So you click on Resolve, comes up like that, you click yes, and you wait and nothing happens. And the reason there's nothing happens is because it's running in the background. So what you need to do, Control-Alt-Delete, Task Manager, and look for it on here. It is down here, Resolve. So it says it's already running. Basically, if you started it and you've been using it earlier and then you shut it down, it hasn't shut down properly. So it's just a little bug. So basically all you've got to do is right click, end task, close that, and restart, and it should just work. I just wanted to point that out to you. And there you go. See, all starts perfectly once you figure that out. So that is the bug. Glad I've got that sorted out. Right, the next thing is, this is the home page. This is the starting page. Basically, all you would see normally would be just this. You wouldn't see any of this unless you've been using it, of course. These are projects I've been working on, like the one that says tutorial 2. This is the tutorial 2 that I've been working on. This was a different project. Yeah, so these are my projects. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either just double click on this and start this one up as a blank, or you can click on new project, which is baby here, and you just type in whatever you want to call it. So that's how you will start that up, and then you just click on create, and then it would just start up. So with that, let's get on with the tutorial, shall we? So I'm going to click on this baby because I'm working on this one. And for this tutorial, I'm going to delete all this, like so. So just hit the highlight it, hit the back button, like so, and it's all deleted, it's all gone. So first things first, you want to get your media. So we go down to the bottom, click on media, this baby here, and I've already got these set up already, or these two. I'm going to remove these as well. We are going to do a fresh start. So that's all gone. And if you're like me and you use an external device, you're going to have to allow it permission to access your external. So you're going to have to put in a password. It will come up and say, oh, please enter password. This is the way I do it. So I right click on it and go to import media, and it will come up with, you know, all your bits on your computer and that. And here's my external. So I'll click on that, and then I'll click on this, and normally when I click on that it will come up and say please enter a password, and then I'd enter a password, and then it would let me in this bit. So once you're in this bit, you can close this down because you've made it. If it's on your computer and you don't need a password, you should be able to go straight in it. But once you've done that, like I say, just close it down, and then you go up here top left hand corner, and this is my storage, my external storage. You've got all your drives basically up here. Like I said, I'm not going to teach you everything, I'm just going to teach you some basics, just enough to get you going. So click on that, and we're using the editing folder, this baby here, and then I want to find the actual folder where I've got my media for doing this little experiment on, and I've got to try and find out where I put it. I think it's in my editing folder. Yes, it's under tutorials. So these are bits of software that I'm just playing about with, just to show you how to do this. So we're going to be using scene 1. I always give mine name, so if it's like the introduction of a video I'm doing or product review, I like to call it scene 1. If I've made several mistakes and I've redone it again, I might call it scene 1 part 1 or part 2, blah blah blah. But it's very handy, it makes it easy to find. So it's scene 1, which is this baby here. So left click it, hold the mouse button down and drag it down to here, and it will come up and say, do you wish to change the frame rate? I'm going to say no, because I think mine's set on 2.4 and this is actually 2.5. I just haven't gone into the settings and changed it. That is something else you have to learn. I haven't done a video on how to do all the settings because that is again quite complicated, so I haven't done that yet. And we also want this, which is the sound audio. So I always record on a different audio device to my video device. So my video camera, this baby here, that records the audio and the video, but I prefer the audio from my recorder, which is this baby here. So that is that. So these are the two that we're going to be working on. You can put other videos on as well. So say for instance you want to bring this in, and which is the toner, one of the microphone kits I was working on, and the sound for that. So there's two videos, so you could just mix it up. So the next bit I'll do is I go to editing over here, and before I do any editing, there's two little things I like to do. Up on the playback where it says playback up here, I like to click on proxy mode and turn that to half resolution or quarter, depending on how big a video I'm making. In this instance I probably don't even need it on, but I'm going to show you what to do. So quarter resolution, and I will explain in a second. And also I will click on render cache, and that is on smart. That's where I normally have it. If it's on none, I suggest you put it on smart or user, but I have it on smart. And what that does, it reduces the quality of the video, not the final video, but the video you're actually working on editing. It reduces the quality of how many frames it is per second, so it might look a bit grainy and not too good, because it allows your computer to work on it better and faster. So that's basically what it does. So once you've done that, the next thing to do is to move your video, whichever video you're working on, this is going to be scene 1 test, into your working area, which is down here. I would suggest you don't push it all the way up like that, leave it about there to start with, and I'll explain in a minute why. And then we want the audio, so that is this baby here, scene 1 test, so they're both the same. And I'll move this marker, this one here, just click up here somewhere, I'll move it into this guideline here, and then the audio only I'm going to turn it up a bit. And there's a couple of ways. You can either go to this bar here, this baby here, and turn it up like that, or you can just right click and normalise audio levels. So I normally click on that, and you have a few different options to go for. I normally use sample peak program, but I do change it sometimes, and click on normalise, and that will increase the sound level to roughly where I want it. Now if you notice at the beginning of all my videos I always clap. I do three claps, sometimes 4 claps. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm just going to quickly show you. If I press space bar, it will play. So that's my 3 claps, yeah. So I need to sync that up with that. So basically just drag this along here, move your little marker, get it on one of them, and then this up here, if you increase that you will get a better view of how close you need to be. So about there, so that's pretty good. So if I go back a bit and then clap, so the audio is now synced up. So audio to the other audio and the video all synced up together. So then I like to minimise this again, or make it smaller. And the reason I do that is because I want to, whatever's the longest, I want to shorten it to the shortest. so they're all in line, and again this end. Now just to give you an example, I am going to play this audio, turn this one off, so I'll just mute it over here. So it sounds a bit echoey. So and if I turn this audio off and this audio on, it's not so echoey. This room is quite echoey, that's why I like to use a separate audio recorder to make it a better quality sound, and to me it works perfectly. So that is why I change it over. So I'm going to turn it back on. So the next thing to do is to get rid of this audio, and the way you do it is highlight it, right click, click on link clips, then you can either just click on here or you can just click on there to unhighlight it, and then click on it again, and you will notice it's only this audio that has got the red marker around it and not the video. So click on that, and you can either right click and then click on delete, or you can just highlight it and press the backspace, and that will do the same thing. Now I want to link these two up, and what I normally do is move this up to this and making sure you keep it in line. This is a magnet, and basically it helps you to line it up properly. It sort of magnetises it back, so you can either just move it, and you could be a fraction out. But if you put the magnet on, it sort of clicks into place. So highlight that, hold the shift button down, click other one on your video, like so, so they're both red now, and then right click, link clips. So now they're joined at the hip, so they're both joined together. And now you want to move it all the way to the left, so that is connected to the very beginning. So that is the very beginning of the video. And normally when I'm doing a video, I will do 3 or 4 different takes, you know, because I make a lot of mistakes. I don't try and do a script. I normally just talk the way through it, and if I make a mistake, I'll just start again. So now we need to find out the best one, and normally it's always the last one. So I'm going to go to about here and see if this is it. So this is my marker. If you can't see this properly, like I said, just click on this baby here. It's like a little magnifying glass thing, and that will help you to see it better. So if I go about there, something like that. We are doing some cable management today. Yes, my desk, baby here, that I built. That sounds about right. The cable management. So stop that, and that works on spacebar. So I want it about, probably about there, I guess. And there's 2 ways you can cut this. You can either come up here and get the scissors and go snip, and then right click, and then ripple cut. And ripple cut will take it all the way back to again. Don't panic if you feel, oh my god, I cut it all off. Just click on this again, up here, and there it is. So that's at the beginning. We are doing some cable management. Or, oh, and one other thing, if you want to go back, if you want to undo what you just done, if you hold Control and Z, it will put it back for you. So there we are back. So, and there's your little cut. If you press Control and Z, we'll get rid of the little cut. And there you go. So we are now back together, or we are back to where we started from. So let's do it again. We are doing some cable management. This is the other way of doing it. It's a little bit easier, but it will get harder the more videos you got on. So I wouldn't recommend you do it this way, but this is another way of doing it. So you get your left mouse, hold the left mouse button down, and scroll it all the way back to where you want it to start from. So that is that, and then you can go something like that. But if you've got loads of videos all joining up to it, you're going to have to pull them all over. So ripple cut is probably the best way to go. Let's have a listen. We are doing some cable management. Right, so that's the beginning of the video. And again, like I said, you can enlarge it to make it easier to look at. One of the things I also do is on the audio, right, because sometimes you speak louder, like this bit here, look, looks really loud. If you watch, we are doing some cable management. Now on the right hand side, I have got my bars. Normally I would do my editing on 2 monitors, so half the stuff would be on this monitor, as you can see now, and half the other stuff, like all this and all these bits over here, would be on my other monitor, so it gives me more room to view and stuff like that. But for this tutorial, I've set it all up so that it's all on one monitor. So again, like I said, this bit here, it's going to be a bit loud. If you look over here, we're hitting the reds. We are doing some cable. So that is too noisy, that is too loud. The easiest way to get round this is if you go into Fairlight, make sure you've got this highlighted so you know which one you're adjusting. Click on Fairlight. This is where you do all your audio, and this is where we're going to be going, this one here. So highlight that, and you want something called limiter, which is over here. So this is under Fairlight FX. So hold the left mouse button down, drag it over, and this will come up, and you can turn this up. Hold the left mouse button down again, and I normally go over anywhere between 8 and 9, so you can have it dead on 8 if you want, or 9, or anywhere in between is where I normally set it. So say for instance 9, like that, and then just come out of that, go back to the edit. Now we're going to play this bit again, and you will see that the reds will not come up, or if they do, it will only be a tiny bit right at the beginning. We are doing some cable management today. See that? My desk is right here. Do it again. We are doing some cable management today. Yes, my desk is right here. So that is how you stop it making too much noise, you know, especially when you get excited and you start saying things louder and you're quieter. That is how you sort that out. And also you can adjust the audio independently over here. So if you have more than one audio, like sometimes you might have a bit of background noise, you can either turn it down on these little bar here and drag it down, or you can adjust it down here, because if the audio's down here, it will come up as a separate audio on here. So it's really handy to know. So that is how it goes. So that is how you do the basics on that. So that is basically how to do editing. If you want to do some special effects, I'm going to show you something now. Let's get back to see where we are. We are doing some cable management today. Yes, my desk is right here that I built. Right, say for instance you want to cut in another video. Here's what you want to do. So, or here is how you would do it. So scene 1, we've got this. This is scene 1. As you can see, it says scene 1 down there, and we're going to chuck this toner in. So toner will come down here. You chuck it in there for now. And again, if you want to do the audio, you can adjust the audio. I'm going to quickly adjust the audio. Might take me a couple of seconds. So move that into there, so it's about right. Bring that out and up it a bit more. You can see it's a little bit out. That's about right. So you can do it really quick. Like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be perfect on the audio, because you'll be very good to spot the difference. And right click, get rid of that, move that in, line it back up, link them back up together. So now that has its own audio, and basically it's the same as that audio, and it should be perfect. So normalise, again you can just normalise. Okay, and again you can do your Fairlight if you need to do your Fairlight, which is where all the audio, pick the limiter on it. I'm going to set that for the same, about 8 or 9. Yeah, do that. So that's done. So that is already set up now. So we have 2 videos, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over the top of that one. Bring my marker back, make that larger. So round about here, we're going to swap it over. It doesn't matter where it is. We're just experimenting. So with that, chuck that in about there, I think. That's what I missed, mate. So with that, I'll shut up and get with it. So with that, he's shut up and he's getting on with it. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger, because I want to move this about there, and I want to put that there. Now you can either just leave it like that, and then, you know, it won't have no special effect. It just swaps straight over. Or what else you could do, you could fade it in. So what you could do here is these little white markers here. If you pull that like that, this video will fade in. So let's play it again. See? And if you want to fade it in a bit more, see, there you go. So that's how easy that is to fade in. Also, again, if you made a mistake, if you hold the Control Z back, and keep going, it will put it back to the beginning. So 2 clicks to get right back to the beginning. If you want to put in some sort of effect in there, this is what I normally do. So I will cut, so there, give it a marker so I know where it is. So you've got a little marker cut down there, and I want that to fade in. Then I'll come over to the left hand side where you've got all your different tools, and we're doing video transitions. And normally you would get these as standard. I have a few extra ones down here as well, but I'm going to show you the normal ones. Now say for instance I want to blur it in, so this would be the blurrer. So left click, hold the button down and drag it over. And what I'd normally do is put 2 in, 1 in there and 1 in there. I'm just going to show you what the difference is. So we're going to do 1. And this is where your playback comes into handy. Your proxy mode settings will help the computer speed up, because this needs to go blue like it is now. And let's have a look at play, see what comes out like. See? That's a blurry. You can actually make the blurry longer. So the way you do that is highlight it, move your mouse to the left or to the right, get it like this and pull it. So now it should be. And the other thing I like to do is go back 1, so back to normal size. Like I said, I like to put 2 in, so I normally put 1 in there and 1 in there and line them up. And the reason I do this is sometimes because it does give you a funny effect sometimes, which is the effect you don't want sometimes. But let the blue line finish, so it has. And it just makes it a cleaner. I think it makes it cleaner. So that's how you do some of the effects. If you don't want them effects, like I say, you can install other effects. There are plenty of YouTubers out there who will gladly give you some free effects if you do a search for them. But they are the ones you get free, and these are some of the ones I've installed. I'm just going to do this one, just to see what it looks like. And there are adjustments, you can make adjustments to these, but I tend to leave them alone, basically. So let's have a go. See? Let's make that a bit longer and see what happens. Now if you do it before the red line is finished, it will not work properly, so it's not showing you the effect, because it's still rendering it, or your computer's still rendering it. So wait till the blue line's done. I have quite an old PC now, but it still works, it still does the job, and hopefully my videos look pretty good. So that is now ready to give you the effect. So with that, I'll shut up and deal with it. See? So with that, I'll shut up and deal with it. And there you go. So that is some of the effects you can use. Get rid of that, just highlight hit the back button, and they just vanish. Right, so that is basically how you do a basic editing. You know, like I said, I'm not going to go into fine detail because there is a lot to learn. I'm going to quickly just talk about these. So the first one is the media, where you get your videos from. The second one is for doing all your cutting and other stuff. This little marker here, these little markers here, you get these up and then you have some different effects. Basically you can do the same, but I prefer to do most of it over on the edit. There are some bits I do like to use on here, which work pretty well, but basically I like to use this. And things like zooming in and zooming out, I'm going to quickly show you how to zoom in and zoom out. So for instance, this video here, I might want to get in a bit closer. And there are 2 different ways you can do this as well. You can either make sure it's highlighted first. Have to make sure it's highlighted because it might do another video you're not even watching. And then go up to the zoom up on here. This will be in the inspector. Make sure it's highlighted if you can't see it. And basically hold your left mouse button down and zoom in, like so. And if you want to move the image to the left or to the right, the one underneath, position, left, right, or the Y over here, same again. If you want to move up and down, see, that is one way of doing it. And if you've messed it up and you want to reset it, you click on these little circles here, it will pull it back to where it was. Or the other way of doing it, if you want to zoom in on a gradual, another way of doing it is get to where you want it to start from. So we want it to start from the beginning, and these little dots here, click on them, just need them two, and then press play. We are doing some cable management today. And where you want it to be actually at the zoom point, you stop it and then zoom it in to where you want it. Get him in the right position as you want him. So I want him about there, or me about there. And then that should be ready. So the computer would have calculated that for you, all the software. Here we go. So now press play. We are doing some cable management today. Yes, my desk is right here that I built in one of my videos. That's how you do a gradual zoom in. We are doing the thing I liked about this, that when you're doing a zoom in, if you needed to move to the left or the right, it will zoom in and move to the left or the right, as you see in this video, which works out really well. And if you want to do it reverse, so for instance you want to zoom out, again, you just come up here, hit the two little markers like so, press your play. So now we want to zoom out. I'm going to zoom out about now. So now then you'd have to zoom out like so. I'm going to move him to the right a bit, like so, maybe a bit more, back there, and I'm going to make him a little bit taller. About there. So again, let's go right back to the beginning and press play. So I'm zooming in. We are doing some cable management today. Yes, my desk is right here that I built in one of my videos a few years ago. And now we're going to zoom out. The cable management that I installed underneath is starting to come unstuck. So what I'm easy when you know how. So that is a very basic tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do anything specific, you know, or in a bit more detail, and I will try and make another video of it being in a bit more detail. But like I said, this is a very basic tutorial, so I'm going to quickly go through these again like I said earlier. So this is the media player. This is where you get all your bits from your video, your audio, you get it from here. Then we have cut, where you do all your editing and stuff like that, but I prefer to use this most of the time. You have some features here which is also on cut, which is in this bit all down here. But on the edit, if you want to do a bit of cropping, if you have another picture, and I'm going to try and show you now actually. If you have another picture or video like this baby here, and you just want it in a little square up there, this is where your cropping comes in, or this is one way to do it. Say you want to cut some of the left hand side out, like so you can do that. Right hand side, you can do that. You can bring the top down, you can bring the bottom down, and if you want to make these edges a bit softer, you can use this device here called softness, and it will soften the edges. Plus you can use the zoom as well, so we can make it a little bit smaller, we can move it in a position wherever you want, take it up, and you have another option with the audio as well. If you want to just turn the audio off, it just goes like that, or you can just mute it, and that will have no audio, but the audio from here will. Take it all down, take it all apart, take it off, and reapply it again and put it back together. And also, if you want to do another little trick, say for instance you want to do a zoom in on this up here, again you can just make sure it's highlighted, hit these little boxes, press play. That is the plan anyway. Whether that'll work or not, I don't know. But I estimate it can take about 2 days. So stop it about there, and now all I want to do is zoom in. You want to get rid of the soft edges and all that stuff. Don't have to do this. This is just an option. Then we want to move you to the left Alt key. I'm sorry, to the right. Want to move it down a bit. Want to make it a little bit bigger, can do a little bit small. There you go. Looks a bit tall, bring it down a bit more, and press play. So let's go through it again. Let's watch it. Right from again. So we have a zoom in. Yes, my desk is right here. we have a zoom out. The cable management that I installed underneath, it started to come unstuck. So what I'm going to do is... we have a Yorkie popping up the left hand side. Take it off and reapply it again and put it back together. And that is the plan. And we have a Yorkie getting bigger. Work or not, I don't know. But I estimate it's going to take me about 2 days. You might think, well, why would it take? That's very good. So that, like I said, and I've said this before already, but that is a basic tutorial on how some of the bits work and how easy it is to use this bit of software. So pretty easy to do once you get your hand around it, once you understand the very basics of how it works. It is, you know, a very good tool. Things I don't understand or don't know a lot about, I've used this, which is Fusion. Fusion uses things called nodes, and I'm not very good on the nodes, so I'm not going to teach you anything about the nodes, but I have used it, and it does work to a point, but I have to watch videos on how to do it because it is a little bit complicated even for me. So I'm not going to go into much discussion. Color grading, again, color grading is very good, and I tend to use auto with slight manual adjustments. And on the bottom left hand corner down here, you've got the 1 and a 2, right, and these will correct or hopefully improve the color settings on the video. So basically all you do is highlight which one you want, number 1 or number 2, and then press A for auto. And that will, it will take a few seconds, but it will look at the video, the one you're actually looking at, and change the color, as you can see. Now you might find it's a little bit too bright. This here, this is for whiteness, so this one here. So you take this and you click on something that's got white in it, and I'm going to click on this. And that will adjust the brightness of the whiteness. And then we have number 2, which basically does the same, but it does more of a temperature. That shouldn't change anything much. It might make it a little bit warmer. But if you go back to number 1, and these bars here, these here, you have a little dial down here, and you can turn things up and down to suit you. So that does the brightness. I'll turn that down a little bit, and then on the number 2, you can do more adjustments on here. But these things down here, these are the contrast. I normally adjust contrast. I find the contrast on the auto is a little bit too strong. So I like to turn it down just a little bit, as you can see. And also temperature, turn the temperature down a touch or up, depending on which way you want to go. I find them to help pretty well. So that is the colour. The Fairlight, I've explained to you on the Fairlight how that works. Like I say, you have quite a few different selections of stuff you might want to use, but the limiter I find excellent piece of software. And then we go over to delivery. Now delivery is the end of your video, so whatever you've made, this is where it renders it, puts it all together and saves it as a video. So up here on the top left hand corner, you have to give it a title and call it testing 4. You have to give it a location where you're going to put it to. So you click on that, go browse, wherever you're going to save it to, and that is that bit down. And then you've got custom, where you can do all your settings manually, but we're going to do it on auto. I normally do this on YouTube. I normally set to 160, 4K, works perfectly. So that does an automatic settings, that's all the settings for it. And then add to render at the bottom, and that will copy it over to here, ready for rendering. And when you're ready to have it made, you just come down here to the bottom right, start rendering, and that will start rendering it and making it all as one video and finish it off with. And when it's finished, you can right click, open file location, and go exactly to that spot to view your video in case you forgot where you put it. So that is how easy it is to use DaVinci Resolve. Like I say, I'm not going to teach you everything because this video is going to take a long time anyway. But if there's any point in there that you think might be more helpful, you might want a bit more detail, let me know in the comments, and I will try and make some more videos if you're interested in me doing DaVinci Resolve. Like I said right from the beginning, I'm not professional, I'm just an amateur, but I know enough to be dangerous. So with that, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumb down, and please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.